Alright vlog, we're gonna get right into it. Today's video is gonna be dedicated to sports industry tips. The tips that I'm gonna go through are tips that I've used myself and tips that I deem incredibly helpful and useful when it comes to breaking into the sports industry and landing that dream sports job. We can skip right to the intro and let's get into the good stuff. So let's get into it. For those who don't know me, my name is Tyra Hunt and I'm a digital content specialist for the Portland Trail Blazers. I've been in the sports world for literally my entire life. My siblings played sports, my parents played sports, my dad was a semi-pro baseball player, and then, including myself, I played sports my entire life and also was a college athlete at Michigan State. I started my sports media journey about 6.5 years ago. During my senior year of high school, I was on the yearbook staff and I was shooting sports and helping out the yearbook, and that's just really what opened up my eyes to, okay, I love sports, I love shooting sports, and I think this is what I want to do with my career. On my YouTube channel, I do have several other vlogs that go a little deeper into my sports industry journey, so if you want a longer version, definitely take a peek at those, but for the time being, a quick rundown is suffice. After yearbook, I ended up going to a school in Indiana, and then I transferred to Michigan State University and pursued a degree in journalism and photojournalism. I was super blessed with the opportunity to be able to shoot sports there, where I was shooting men's football, men's and women's basketball, women's gymnastics, men's and women's track and field whenever I wasn't competing, and men's hockey, really any sport that I could get my hands on to help out Michigan State athletics and also continue to build my portfolio. After college, I ended up having a pretty full portfolio of Michigan State sports, and I felt that I was readily equipped to land my first sports job, and I was applying to hundreds of jobs and just getting told no left and right, and it was either I didn't have enough experience or whatever it was just incredibly discouraging. I just remember at the time getting told no so many times to a point of feeling like maybe the sports industry is just not for me, and I was at a point where I was thinking like maybe I'll just work for an agency or work for another company to still be able to exercise the act of photography, videography, whatever it was, but maybe from a different lens than I had hoped for. I did give up in my head, and that's when I just started looking at agency jobs, and within the week I went through the interview process with the Chicago Red Stars and was incredibly blessed with the opportunity to be the social media manager of the Red Stars and then to the manager of social media and content there sometime down the line. I worked in Chicago for about 2 years, and then I decided that it was time for me to make that next step in my career, so I started applying to new jobs and now have landed the position that I'm currently in as the digital content specialist for the Portland Trail Blazers. On the side of all of that, I also am very passionate about my own content creation in Tyra Media, which is what you're watching this on right now, and I have just been picking up freelance gigs and just continue to keep my hands on a camera, especially in the off seasons of the sports that I've been working in, to keep my skills sharp and just to continue to do what I love, because when people ask me what I like to do outside of work, it's literally work. And I love to film and I love to take pictures, so I genuinely have a camera in my hands like 99% of my life. I say all that to say, we all start from somewhere. We are now heading to the first topic I want to discuss, and that is networking. Going back to my time at Michigan State, I ended up attending a conference about LinkedIn. They were explaining the importance of LinkedIn and how important it is to have your LinkedIn as up to date as possible. And I just remember looking at LinkedIn as a weird platform that I was like, I literally will never use this, but I'm on LinkedIn so often, I swear it's a part of my daily scrolling that I partake in. But I remember attending that conference and just looking at myself and looking at my page and being like, okay, your page sucks. Let me fix this and make it not suck. So I think that was my junior year of college, and then my senior year of college is when I tried to really lock in on my page and like make sure that it was appealing. So as I was applying to these jobs and future employers were to come look at my page, that they'd like what they saw. So around that time in the summer of 2021, I decided to break out of that comfort zone of mine that I am so comfy in sometimes, and I decided to look up some people who had similar jobs that I eventually want one day. I stumbled upon this man named Travis Ellison, who was the director of photography at the Minnesota Vikings at the time, and I decided to send him a message and say, hi, my name is Tyra and I love what you do. Your job is a dream of mine, and I'd love to either A, shadow you one day, B, ask you 1.5 million questions, or C, hop on a call and pick your brain. He responded, and he did hop on a call and let me pick his brain, and he also let me hop on a call to shadow him virtually while he was actively editing, culling photos for a real Minnesota Vikings game. I'm so deeply appreciative of this experience because I was able to learn from a long-term professional in the league that I want to work in one day, and it was just so eye-opening and seriously so cool to just be able to see his process of how he does things, and then also pick his brain of what it's like to actually work in the sports industry. What do I need to actually be fully equipped, and really just pick his brain as much as, one, he allowed me to, and two, as much as I knew would not irritate him to death on this call. But me and Travis are still in contact to this day. He is my mentor and he's an amazing resource for me as I am growing within my craft that I'm actively trying to make better. So sharing that story to hop into the topic of networking, because networking is seriously so important. First, with the networking, my biggest tip is to clean up your LinkedIn. First, make sure your profile picture is a nice photo of you, whether it's you at work, your headshot, a picture that's singular of you. Make sure it's a good photo. I think that is really important because that's also the first thing that people see when you either A, send them a message, B, when they click on your page, C, when you make a post. My banner on LinkedIn is a Portland Trailblazers banner. Just it showcases where I currently work. If you are not currently with a team or in a position, then you can make that cover photo either a photo that you've taken before or something that's not super distracting. It can be something that involves your name and something that you can get from Canva and put together a cool, legible template that can be as your banner on LinkedIn. The next part underneath my profile picture and my banner, I have my name, my page is verified, and then I also have my title, which is the Digital Content Specialist at the Portland Trailblazers. Underneath it, it has my location and then my contact information, where I have my website that takes people to my portfolio, my email in case people want to send me an email, linked there as well. On the right of that, I also have my university that I attended and then also my organization. Scroll down a little bit and then let's get to the About section. In my About section, I have who I am, I have where I went to school and what I majored in, I have my current position and also what I do in my free time, my Tyra Janae Media, and then I like to call it a headline even though it's several lines, but like a headline about yourself. I wrote that I'm constantly searching for new projects to get my hands on and really just making it clear that like I love to have a camera in my hands and I love what I do. Going down a little bit, we have our featured, we have my portfolio featured, my resume featured, and then a couple of projects that I posted on LinkedIn, and I have those featured. So when you go to my page, those are the first things that you see. My activity, these are all the posts that I have made on LinkedIn, and I've been really trying to remain active on LinkedIn. And by remain active, I am posting my work, I'm posting my YouTube channel, I am making sure to react to other people's posts and things like that. And then to the experience tab, I have every single role that I've ever worked in and the job descriptions under each that are A, either from the job application, or B, I curate them and change them a little bit to obviously fit exactly to what I do with each role that I'm in, but I make sure that I have that as in-depth as possible. We have my role with the Blazers first, and then my freelance of Tyra Janae Media, and I have photos attached, and then my manager of social media and content with the Chicago Red Stars, I have that attached, my time with the Bears, my internship, and we can just go down the line, but make sure that your experience is as up to date as you can get it, where you're listing out everything that you have done for that organization, with that organization, in your role, media if applicable. You want it as in depth as you can make it. So that's what my LinkedIn page looks like. Is my page the most attractive and perfect LinkedIn page in the world? No, and that's okay. But I do think it's a really good reference point when it comes to making sure that your LinkedIn is updated. Why is that important? Because it's an awesome way to connect with people. So I shared that story about Travis, and I connected with him on LinkedIn and reached out to him on LinkedIn. It also is really important because if you are looking for a job, there's a whole job section on LinkedIn to where you can scroll through jobs, search jobs, and look for that dream role that fits for you. Something that's also awesome when it comes to making connections with people who work in the field that you're looking to work in is also being able to ask questions and to ask for feedback. What do you think of this? What do you think I could do better? What is wrong with this? Do you think that this needs something? Being able to ask questions and get that feedback is so valuable to your content, because not only are you hearing it from someone who's in the role that you dream to have one day, they also have been doing this for a while, and they also have a different range of experience that you have. So having another set of eyes, especially from a professional in the field that you want to work in, is so important and so helpful. So far we have covered keeping your LinkedIn page up to date. We have covered networking with other people and reaching out and asking questions and getting feedback. Now that we've scrolled through my LinkedIn page, we can head to tip number 2, which is versatility. Being able to be versatile in the sports industry is so important. Now, don't get me wrong, there are singular roles in every single department that you can focus on one thing, 100%. There are photography roles, videography roles, social media roles, graphic design roles, a million other roles that you can focus on one singular thing in. What's really helped me throughout my sports industry journey so far is being versatile. What I mean by that is being able to know how to do multiple things, but also knowing how to do multiple things well. I started out with a photojournalism focus in college, so my only focus was photography. That's the only thing I wanted to do, the only thing I knew how to do, and really the only thing that I had on my tool belt at the time. There were a couple opportunities where I was asked, can you make video too? Can you do this too? And at the time my camera was so old that it did not have video making capabilities, but I also turned it down because I didn't know how to do it and I want to be a photographer. So, and that was kind of my mindset at the time, where as I was starting to gain my footing and continue to build my portfolio before I landed my sports job, I decided, and I told this story in my last video about investing in your career, of when I decided to upgrade my camera randomly, camera malfunctioned, and I had to shoot video rather than photo, what I planned on doing initially, and how I grew into my love for video as well. But I ended up picking up video as well as photography, not ditching photography, but picking it up as well, and being able to really devote time into learning how to do video really well too. I was doing unbelievable amounts of research and I was utilizing my connections that I've made. My cousin Van, he is amazing and he's an awesome resource for me when it comes to video questions and anything video, because he is a genius with the camera. But I was utilizing my connections and asking millions of questions, doing online workshops, YouTube tutorials, and really anything that I could do to learn as much as I possibly could about another avenue of media. Where I'm at now, when people are like, oh, do you like photo better or do you like video better? I'm like, I love both. And I say that because I've put so much effort into learning both that I have such an equal love for both. And I appreciate both because they're so different and you can express yourself so differently within the two. That's where I think versatility becomes key. With the Red Stars, I became the manager of social media and content because I also was helping out with social videos. Not only was I doing the social media, I was helping out with reels and content of the players, whether that was game highlights, whether that was walk-in videos, whether that was a practice recap, whatever it was. I was trying to soak up as much information as I could and to continue to exercise that skill as I continue to shoot. Now, looking at being able to love photo and video equally, my portfolio is now equally full of both, to where my portfolio at first was Tara Janae photos and it was all photography. I decided to expand my knowledge and pick up videography, so now it's Tara Janae Media, where I have on one page my photography and I have another page my videography and I have another page my social media experience, and really just showcasing the versatility in my skill set and also being able to show I can do this and I can do this, and the quality won't drop off while doing this because I put in so much effort to be able to learn both and to learn both to the best of my personal ability. So going back to when I was like, I'm only a photographer, this is all I'm gonna do, this is all I'm gonna look at the time in my tool belt only was photography. But now my tool belt is photography, social media, videography, and I'm continuing to add to it. As far as versatility, when it comes to learning a new skill, I have so many skills that I still need to learn, that I still know literally no idea about. To share a moment of transparency, one skill that I need so much work at is Photoshop. I am absolutely terrible on Photoshop. I cannot make a graphic to save my life, and that's something that I really struggle with. But in order to increase my versatility and increase my skill set and increase my knowledge, I need to spend some time in Photoshop. So what I've been doing is online workshops, Skillshare, YouTube, whatever it is, to really first learn the basics of Photoshop, and then my next step is going to be do a test project and really try to apply what I've learned, and then continue to practice that and to continue to learn new things and to continue to ask questions to those who I know who are really good at Photoshop, and to continue to grow that skill, to add that to my tool belt as well. It's just helpful to be able to know how to do other things in case there's ever a time that you'll have to do it, but also just for the sake of your own knowledge and the sake of your own career development, to where you do feel fully equipped in different roles and in different situations, to where I know how to do this, I can help, or hey, I actually just learned something about that on my workshop. This might help make this easier, to where you're also becoming helpful to your teammates, or it's a way that you can elevate your own work as well. The best way to continue to get better at versatility, to where I just said doing like a practice project and relating that to Photoshop, a way to do that in the photography and videography realm is to do stuff for free sometimes. You volunteer yourself to shoot your local sports team or your local college or local high school or whatever it is, and volunteer your time to continue to grow that skill set and to continue to get those those reps in. The more that you shoot, the better you're gonna get. So being able to learn things first and then apply them is really, really important. And that's speaking from experience, because I started, like I said, as a sports photographer. I remember being asked, like, do you want to shoot men's hockey? And internally I'm like, I've never shot men's hockey before. Like, I don't know, I can't do it. But then I remember immediately answering yes, I would love to, because I knew I didn't know how to do it. And I knew it might not be good the first time, but it could be really good, but I wouldn't know unless I try it. So I ended up doing it, ended up loving it and loving the output that I had. And that's to where, like, exercising that versatility and getting out of your comfort zone and trying something new really does benefit you in the end. That's point number 2. We are now on the last and final point of the sports industry tips vlog, number 1. And the third tip is confidence. As simple as that sounds, being confident in your work and being confident in yourself is so, so, so important. Being proud of what you create really adds an element to your joy in creating, because if you're creating things over and over and over that you're not super happy with, it may become draining and may become exhausting. My first point with confidence is to post your work. I am the #1 advocate for showcasing your work and showcasing what you're good at. I think that's such an awesome way to put yourself out there and to also showcase your abilities. Not even from a bragging standpoint, like, oh, look how cool I am, look what I did, but more from I worked really hard on this and I'm really proud of it and I want you all to see it too. I post my work very often because it's something that I really, really like to do in my free time, whether it's posting my Blazers work or posting my personal work. I love to post both because it's something that I literally love to do in work and out of work. So being able to be confident in your abilities and your knowledge and in your mindset is so important. To be able to confidently say, I think this is the best way to do this, or I think this is the best way to do this, and here's why. It's so important to be able to have that confidence behind you, because you do know what you're talking about and you did do all of this work and your portfolio is amazing. So continuously reminding yourself of that and remaining confident in yourself is something that I think goes a really, really long way. So we've gone over networking, versatility, and confidence as my 3 sports industry tips for the day. Networking: make connections with people, put yourself out there, get out of your comfort zone, meet people, ask people questions, get feedback on your work. Versatility: pick up a new skill. If you're really, really good at videography, try out photography sometime and see if you can sharpen that skill too. If you are like me and can't create a graphic at all, open up Photoshop and open up a Photoshop tutorial and create something for fun and work on sharpening that skill. It's really, really helpful to have the most equipped tool belt that you can possibly have. And my tool belt is still growing. I still have so many slots on this tool belt that I'm actively adding to and actively working on. The third piece: confidence. Be confident in yourself and be confident in your work. You do deserve to be here and you do deserve all the great things that you want. Post your work. Be proud of what you created. You worked hard to put it together. Be proud of that and know that. Know that you worked your butt off to make that. I've shared a few other tips on a couple vlogs back about how I got into the sports industry, and I remember talking about keep shooting, keep applying, and to network. And here I just wanted to kind of extend that and make a video just dedicated to sports industry tips. I remember being back in 2021, being on the brink of absolutely quitting what I love to do because I was getting told no so many times, and I couldn't imagine where I'd be right now if I did that. Really, really hopeful that this helps somebody, and honestly, if you guys like these videos, please leave it in the comments, let me know. I mean, I'm happy to make more. I have about 1.5 million more tips that I wish I could tell 2021 Tyra, and right now I'm helping a couple years ago me and hopefully somebody else achieve that sports industry goal that they have. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Leave your feedback in the comments and stay tuned for my next video.